Well, hi there, and thanks for taking the time to watch this short video. And that's what it's going to be all about. Time, time, time. That precious commodity, which sometimes seems as if it's just all running out, and it's in these days also being mysteriously shortened. But we can be reminded by God's word there's a time for everything and a season for everything under the sun. So, trust you'll stay blessed. As we refresh our pages, nothing new I'm bringing you today, but taking a look at time management, gleaned from a book that I got hold of by Edward Ray Dayton. He lists a whole lot of stuff from A to Z, very readable, and a number of different aspects on this topic, but I thought I'd take out three of them. Managing time is really about managing people, seeing the whole man, and maintaining one's purpose. Now, in time management, the whole reason for having clocks, schedules, calendars, goals, priorities, and all that, because there's a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of things all at the same time. This basic idea of putting people together like a big jigsaw puzzle also can lead to an extremely mechanistic view of our people relationships, in which people are viewed as just parts of a vast machine. This way is neither personally rewarding or biblically honest. In his description of the church, the Apostle Paul described how we should relate to one another. He uses the analogy of the human body, of course, you're reflecting to 1 Corinthians chapter 12, full of fingers, eyes, nose, toes, ears, ankles, and all that. The body is incomplete with not each part of this, and we cannot neglect any part of the body as well. We are seen as a whole. And as we understand ourselves as part of a larger body, we're not only able to identify our gifts, but we also get our priorities straight, and we begin to become more effective in the use of our time. St. Augustine is quoted as having said, "Love God and do as you please." What he was saying was that if I love God completely, whatever I please to do will please God. But how do I know that I love God? And the Apostle John clarifies it for us when he says, we know that we love God by the way we love our brothers. So this concept can be stretched not only to our families, but to our media organizations, our listening or viewing communities, and out to society as a whole. Speaking about wholeness, people also want increased output from the individual to create a more efficient enterprise to produce a better product. Therein lies the fatal weakness. We need to treat people as whole people, because individual lives cannot be compartmentalized. We have in our thoughts that work is just something to be sold or purchased. And if we base the task of managing time, which is really managing our life, on a concept which does not include the whole man, we will settle for second best. The biblical concept of a person is that all of his life is interrelated. As it is said, we're not human doings, we're human beings. And more important in what we accomplish is how we relate to others and play our role in our relationships with them. But this, of course, does not downgrade accomplishment, because, of course, in the media world, we've got that great competitive edge, and the zest of our life is in seeing the world change. That world may be the small world of one's own family or your particular media organization, your viewers or listeners, and then society as a whole. A fulfilled life is one which has made a meaningful contribution towards the whole, being that whole what it may be. Somehow, we must come to believe that life must be lived wholly and completely, with no essential part of it being neglected. I guess that's where Jesus meets us at our point of need when he says, I came to give you life and life more abundantly. Such an understanding has great power to unleash creative talents and uncover gifts, all of what media is all about. It frees us from measuring a person's worth by his status in the organization and helps us look into the deeper areas of life. It diverts us from the success motive to the being motive. Some people make their greatest contribution to society because they have the gift of a listening ear and an understanding heart. A whole man concept will encourage leaders of organizations to design a healthy organizational environment, a place where people are growing in all dimensions. Now, the conclusion of the matter is then, in remembering the purpose that you, your colleagues, your organization is in existence for, it's recorded for us in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15 and 16 in the Phillips translation. Live life then with a due sense of responsibility, not as men and women who do not know the meaning and purpose of life, but as those who do. Make the best use of your time, despite all the difficulties of these days. And I just am reminded of that song, God makes all things beautiful in His time. Have a lovely day.